Hello everybody. Today we shall see the principle of IR spectroscopy. Principle of IR spectroscopy. IR spectroscopy is also called as it is one of the vibrational spectroscopy. There are two vibrational spectroscopy which study the vibrations in a molecule. There is one is IR, another one is called Raman, and therefore these spectra study vibrations in molecules. Vibrations in molecules. These molecules, when therefore we study vibrational excitation of electron. Actually, we study the vibrational excitation of electron. The energy in the range, actually when an electron excites to from V0 to V1 from any of the electronic state, V0 to V1, this is ground state and this is excited state. This is what we study in IR spectroscopy. When this excitation takes place, this energy range from V0 to V1 exactly matches with the IR radiation, the range of IR radiation. Therefore, the name we use IR spectroscopy, since we are using IR radiation. Okay, and then let us see the range of IR. What is the range of IR spectroscopy? The range of IR is actually from, we actually use wave number to represent IR radiation, because that is comfortable for IR range. For IR range, using wave number, that is mu bar, is comfortable to use. That's why. Starting from 13,000 centimeter inverse to 4,000 centimeter inverse. These values are approximate, not accurate, but this range is called near IR. This range is called near IR range, or NIR. Okay, from 4,000 to 400 centimeter inverse. Okay, this range is called as mid IR. This range is called mid IR. From 400 centimeter inverse to almost 10 centimeter inverse. This range is called as far IR. Far IR. Actually, the spectrum we record for for normal spectra, we use this mid IR. There are special spectra that may use near and far IR range. For all the spectra is recorded in the mid IR range, that is from 4,000 centimeter inverse to 400 centimeter inverse. Okay, if you say in wavelength, actually lambda, the lambda can be represented as from 0.76 micrometer to 2.5 micrometer approximately, and the value doesn't look good, 0.76, and that's why we use this value, wave number. Okay, here we can 2.5 micrometer to around 30 micrometer, and this range is called mid range, and from here to around 1000 micrometer, and this range is called far IR range. This is how we classify the radiation. Okay, coming to the principle of IR spectroscopy, what this IR radiation can do with the molecule. In the molecule, we say every molecules, if you say every molecules have atoms. Every molecules have atoms that are connected by bonds. That is how molecules are formed. And these bonds, in order to form at least one bond, there must be two atoms that are connected to each other. Okay. In IR, these two atoms are considered as balls. And these balls are connected with a spring. This is how, and this is called as a bond. The spring is considered as bond, and these balls are considered as atoms. And these ball and spring, imagine this is one ball, and this ball is attached to a spring. Okay, and this, since it is a spring, this can vibrate, this can compress or elongate, and this freedom is given to the molecule, and therefore the spring can vibrate in the direction it wants. Okay, it is possible, and this is studied, and the vibration of this spring and ball depends upon the mass of these two balls, actually atoms, and that can be calculated. The frequency by which these two balls can vibrate can be calculated by this formula, 1 by 2 pi into root of k by m, where m is the reduced mass. M is called reduced mass, and that reduced mass can be calculated from the mass of the two atoms, that is m1 plus m2 divided by m1 m2. This is the reduced mass. Using the reduced mass, we can calculate the frequency of the vibration. If this frequency matches with the IR radiation, and that particular radiation will be absorbed. When this IR radiation is absorbed by a bond, it undergoes excitation from ground state to excited state. That is, before absorption, the bond may be vibrating with one frequency. After absorption, the bond may vibrate in a different frequency. This is called ground state, and this is excited state. Any molecule or any electron in excited state is unstable, and therefore it may relax back to the original. This is what happens when an IR radiation is absorbed in a molecule. Okay, and this law, the principle, this law which is called as Hooke's law, I forgot to tell. This law is called Hooke's law. You can see Hooke's law, you can refer Hooke's law with a ball and spring method by any method. Okay. Now, I think this is the principle of IR spectroscopy. In IR, within this range, any molecule can be studied. Next, we shall see the types of vibrations. Okay, types of vibrations in molecule. Okay, a molecule can make many kind of vibration that we can see. There are two kinds of vibration. When a ball is connected with a spring with another ball. Okay, one vibration. If there is only two atoms, there is only one possibility is there. This bond can compress or elongate, and therefore this is called as a stretching vibration. This vibration is called stretching. A bond can stretch or compress, and this kind of vibration is called as a stretching vibration. If you imagine the ball is connected this way, there are three balls are connected by two bonds, then there is a difference in vibrations. We shall see all those vibrations. If there is only two atoms connected by one bond, you can have only stretching vibration. There is no other possibilities. But when three atoms are connected by two bonds, and the number of vibrations are different. Okay, there are more possibilities. Number one is stretching vibration. Stretching, that means this bond can elongate. And this bond can also elongate at the same time. And this kind of vibration is called as stretching. After elongation, it may come back to original in this direction, which is called as a compression. Stretching vibration is explained as elongation and compression. The elongation of a bond and the compression of bond is called as a stretching vibration. And this elongation and compression can be different types. One is called symmetric, if there is two other bonds, the three atoms connected by two bonds at least. It may be more. Another one is called as asymmetric. Let me explain what is asymmetric and what is symmetric. Let us see symmetric stretching. Symmetric stretching. Consider this is three atoms connected by two bonds. Symmetric stretching means at a time this bond elongates and this bond also elongates, and this bond compresses and this bond also compresses at the same time. It elongates and compresses simultaneously, and this kind of stretching is called as a symmetric stretching. There is another stretching called asymmetric stretching. Asymmetric stretching, in which if you consider the same three atoms and one bond elongates, another bond compresses. When this elongates and this will compress, and this kind of if you see the motion, it will be asymmetric in nature. Okay, this stretching is called asymmetric stretching. Okay, there are two types of stretching. There is another vibration called as bending vibrations. Bending vibration is another kind of vibration. There are two kinds of bending vibration. One is called in-plane bending, in plane. Another one is called out of plane. That is, there are three atoms in the molecules that I have drawn all the atoms in the board. Okay, during the vibration, if all the atoms remain in the board, I can able to draw everything in the board, then it is called as in-plane bending. During the vibration, if the atom happen to come out of the board, out of the plane, that is what we called out of the plane, that is called out of plane bending. And there are in plane bending, if you take example, in plane bending there are two kinds again, that is called symmetric and asymmetric. Similarly, in out of plane also we have a symmetrical bending, symmetrical and asymmetrical. A molecule can make this much amount of vibration. I am explaining all this for only three atoms connected by two bonds. If there is more number, and the number of vibration will also be more. Let me explain the in-plane symmetrical bending. For example, symmetrical bending, that is in plane. That means during the vibration, the atoms do not move away from the plane. I did not explain what is called bending vibration. During bending vibration, the bond length remains the same. the bond length does not change. The compression, this doesn't happen. Instead, the bond angle will change. During the vibration, if the bond angle changes, maybe changing, in some cases it may not change, but definitely the bond length do not change. That kind of vibrations are called as a in-plane bending. Let us see one by one symmetrical bending. Okay, for example, if I take this molecule atom symmetrical bending, you can imagine these three atoms to bond molecule, and this atom moves in this direction, this atom moves in this direction. Let me explain. Okay, during this vibration, what will happen? Actually, this bond, this bond will okay, and this atom will come to this position. What happened here? The bond angle actually changed. The bond angle actually changed. This kind of vibration, this is one kind of vibration. The name for this vibration is called scissoring. Scissoring vibration. We can say it is like a scissoring action, and therefore this is called as a scissoring vibration. Let me explain another, say, asymmetric bending. Asymmetric bending, actually in plane. Asymmetric in plane bending. That means a molecule like this, this atom moves in this direction, and this atom also moves in the direction. During this, what will happen? This atom will come here, and this atom will go here. Okay, this atom will go here, and actually this bond angle actually doesn't change. It actually changing the direction. Okay, this kind of vibration is called as a rocking. This kind of vibration is called as a rocking. Let me explain another symmetrical symmetrical bending. Symmetrical bending, but during which the atoms go out of the plane. Therefore, it is called out of plane bending. For example, if you take these three atoms, imagine, and this atom comes in front of you, and this atom also comes in front of you, and this atom stick to the plane. This atom sticks to the plane. What will happen? This will come, okay, ஊஞ்சல் ஆடுற மாதிரி ஆடிட்டு இருக்கும். சரியா? This kind of vibration. நீங்கள் ஊஞ்சலை நீங்கள் ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கலாம். இது லென்த்து மாற போகிறது கிடையாது, இந்த லென்த்து மாற போகிறது கிடையாது. All those things will not change. This will be fixed at one position. This kind of vibration is called as a wagging. Okay, another, during that these two atoms go out of the plane. Okay, if you say asymmetric, that means one atom comes towards you, another atom goes apart from you, okay, away from you. This kind of vibration is called a twisting vibration. This kind of vibration is called a twisting vibration. This is fixed actually. This will be fixed. When we have three atoms connected by two bonds, a molecule, you can imagine a molecule, that is water molecule, you can imagine. Water molecules can have this much amount of vibration. For example, in stretching we have symmetric stretching and asymmetric stretching. Okay, symmetric stretching and asymmetric stretching. In bending we have several bending, that is wagging. We see in wagging, twisting, rocking, scissoring, several vibrations we saw. But the next question is, will all these vibration can be seen in IR? All vibration can you able to see in IR? If all the vibration absorb separate radiation, but the answer is no. Not all the vibrations can be seen in IR. For a vibration to be seen in IR, during the vibration, that particular vibration should show a change in dipole moment. All those vibrations which show a change in dipole moment can only absorb radiation in IR. Change in dipole moment is an essential condition for a molecule to show an IR signal, to absorb an IR radiation, and therefore usually asymmetric vibrations will have a change in dipole moment. Asymmetric vibration have a change in dipole moment, and therefore it may be IR active usually. Okay, this is the basic principle of a IR spectroscopy. The rest we shall see in the next class. Thank you.